quickly. I was around 39, I left my corporate job. So once I finished my college, then I joined IDBI Bank, and I was there as a probationary officer. Then I moved, got elevated as assistant manager before heading into Axis Bank. I worked for almost 15 years there, and I headed the entire Tamil Nadu region for institutional banking. Then before moving ahead to DBS Bank as a national head, I was handling the entire bank for institutional banking. And 39, so I just left my job as a vice president in DBS, and I just wanted to pursue my passion of this hospitality industry, and also I wanted to enter into the health segment. So we just left the job and started this. MySpace Holiday Inn is what she was telling. We started this chain of homestays and chain of fetal medicine centers in Bangalore. So when Paul was telling me, somebody from our senior batch, somebody wants to give an accomplished man wants to give a speech. So I was straight away told him, I'm not an accomplished man, I'm just a beginner in my entrepreneurial journey. So, and when he said, want to speak on the life lessons, what our school, has given us, then I just, as Steve Jobs always tells, you cannot connect the dots looking ahead. We can only connect the dots by looking back. So I started, this is the first day in my life, I started looking back what I have done, what the school has, what impact it has created within us. Then, it was, then I could able to correlate so many other things, which I wanted to put it across in a very informal way, so that I don't make, big speech or lecture what she was telling. So if you compare our, when 96, so the Donavur was itself was an adventurous stay for me. So open, still I don't know whether still the open dorms are there. It's all okay. It was open dormitories, and the computer labs were getting set up, and the William Carey Park, only the placard was put, and we cleaned the entire area, and we were doing that. So and as footballers, we used to go for this Naraikadu trip. How many of you have gone to Naraikadu trip? Great. So Naraikadu trip, you see a small stream running, and it flows into a valley. So the first trip we went to Naraikadu, and it was the first experience for me, an adventurous trip, and I and Paul and some Josiah, then 3-4 people went little ahead and to see where the water was going inside. I slipped. It was a big valley. I think everybody will be aware of that. I slipped, and immediately I caught hold of the guy who was standing next to me, his leg. That fellow slipped, and he caught the other guy, and it was like chain of people which was holding, and finally Bezalel, he was holding to all the 7 people, and he pulled. How many of you knew Bezalel? Bezalel, So he was the savior for 7 of us, otherwise all 7 would have gone that time. So then he slapped me. When he pulled everyone, and he slapped me, "Arey, what are you doing here? You would have taken everybody." So what I am trying to say here is the adventurous attitude. So that sort of person I was, and same with when you go for this cycling trips to Mavadi and Erwadi and all, you come back, and on Fridays they take you for a walk now, outing. Sundays they go for a walk. So Sundays we went for a walk, and my friend stamped on a snake, and it encircled his leg, and it was in Tamil they say padam edutittu. So, and that fellow was in absolute panic, but I told him, see, it is not going to hurt you as long as everybody started shouting. They started throwing stones. Then I told don't throw stones and all, just let it go on its way. Then we stayed calm, and it went off. So recently, if I am connecting that, 2-3 weeks back, me and my friend went to Kotagiri, and it was around 10:30 p.m. And there was an elephant. We encountered an elephant, and it was straight in front of us, and came inside and it dashed our car, and the car was going up and down for 4 times. Then I was coolly sitting inside and taking video of that entire scene. So my friend was asking, how did you manage to remain so cool? So these are the attitudes. So when I left my corporate life, so these are the attitudes, the attributes which helped me to take up the entrepreneurial journey. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur. So I just wanted to touch up on certain things. There is only 2 persons. One who takes risk and the other one, they doesn't take the risk. And the person who takes the risk is the entrepreneur, and others are just employed. They are the employees. All right, I'm not blaming anyone here, but you will wait. Please wait for your turn, and you will come out with some opportunities. Okay. So the risk-taking ability is something which I learnt in SV days, and when we were child, and that actually helped us to evaluate the situations, opportunities, and pursue our entrepreneurial journey. So, and the second point I wanted to touch up here is the being spontaneous. So in SV, we didn't have much opportunity. It was a closely knitted community. So everybody bump into each other, and immediately spontaneously we get along with people, and that's the spontaneity it created within the SV. So now in the school days, in the school life, for an outsider, for example, my son is into 12th, 11th, 12th. Inside the class, they have 35 people, but in that class, 5 people only, they form a gang and they roam around. They don't even mingle within the class. Whereas in SV, we used to roam around with all the people, all the small juniors, seniors. So when this opportunity came in, like for starting, getting into so how many of you know Dr. Ramya? Is Jacob Surab Anand's sister from 98 batch, I think. So they all came once to Kotagiri, and they were telling about this opportunity into the health segment. They are doctors. They studied well and they became doctors. So, and it was like, when somebody offered you a pandam in our days, immediately, spontaneously, we all went and we took it, and so in the same manner, the spontaneity, it continued. When she said there is an opportunity for health industry to be explored in Bangalore, so straight away we said okay, and let's go ahead, because I didn't know anything about the health industry. I was a banker by profession, and it was another risk which we wanted to take. But as I said, risk taking is an entrepreneurial character, so we just opted for that. And the third one would be curious. What makes us in Santosh Vidyalaya days also, we will be like curious is like open to explore new things. Anything, we are open to, even right from Monsing retreats, we are open to any. We didn't design our our day or our structures and all. They were giving, like morning you have this, evening you have. So we were just experiencing, and we were able to take up everything, whatever the retreats or the football tournaments, whatever comes in our way, we just take it, and we were ready to explore the new opportunities or the new arena in life. So when this curiosity, if you are curious, I would urge each one of you here, be curious, because I strongly believe that belief system in the. I was speaking to where is Lily. Lily is there. I was speaking to Lily today morning, like how we move on from being curious to just we started believing in certain things. When you are a child, you are so curious to ask questions. Like if somebody comes and tells the sun rises in the east. So this belief system is actually suppresses our doubts. So don't believe everything, whatever we have learned. And there is a clear difference between an intellect and the intelligence. What is the difference? Any idea? Being intellectual and intelligent. Intelligence is the?
Just the knowledge.
Intelligence. Okay. Intellectual? That's the opposite you're saying. Any other inputs from that side? So, all right. So, rightly said, pointed out, intellectual people, they just borrow everything, from the textbooks, from the history, wherever it comes, they just borrow the knowledge. But intelligence is something which is the insight, which you have it. Nobody can train you on that. You look at something and you have an insight towards it. Looking at things the way it is. Okay, so that is more important. That curiosity only gives you that. So unfortunately, this world, portrays the intellectual people as the, they make them as the stars, and they celebrate. But don't never give up your intelligence. Intelligence is something which is your insight towards certain things. All right, so that actually gives you the opportunity to understand what will work and what will not work. All right, so when I say risk taking abilities, it is calculative risk which we need to take, and we need to travel, and how to evaluate that insight only helps you. Right? Intellectual people, and why intellectual people are employed, and because they don't have that insight towards certain things. They cannot look at things what others are, different people are looking at it in a different way. So that curiosity, everybody have to please hold on to it, and that is my humble request. As a senior, I am telling you, don't, and the student within you. So there is a normal, general saying that if the student within you is alive, I know we have moved out of our student life, but if the student within you is alive, even a small moving grass can teach you lessons. So even now I am standing here, I have been roaming around all these properties and seeing how it was constructed, how they have done this architectural designs, how they have done, how the roofing was planned, everything I was inquiring with the management here. So that, but if the student within you is not alive, even Lord Jesus or Lord Krishna or Lord Buddha comes and tells also, nobody can move you around, nobody can transform us. So only thing, the second request would be stay curious, and let the student within you be alive. All right, and finally, SV days taught us to be interdependent. Right. So how many of you understand the concept of interdependence? So when we were kids, we were thinking that we are dependent on our parents, right? We were holding their arms and we were walking, and we were dependent on our parents, our society, our elders, brothers, and then we grow into a certain stage. We get into the teenage thinking that we are independent to do whatever. We reach the minor, from minor to major, we attain the major, and we think that we are independent. So what independent means? You can do things on your own. You can decide on your own, right? Very few people move from being independent to interdependent. What does interdependent means? You are relying on somebody else. So what SV days has taught is being interdependent. So now how you guys are taking bath? In our days we used to pump, the one person has to pump, so the other person takes bath, and then you go in and you pump for the other person. Somebody has experienced in SV days? No. Oh, but that was the order of the day. 365 days it was like that. So now you have to find a partner, okay? So who pumps water for you daily to bath. So these are the qualities which taught us we were interdependent. So if you are interdependent, and if you understand the concept of being interdependent, it's like whatever we wear now, whatever we eat now, we are not manufacturing, we are not producing it, right? We are interdependent on somebody else. So once somebody understands this concept of being interdependent, then you take that quantum leap towards life. All right. So that's it. And finally, if there is any questions, I am open to answer. So I don't want to bore you guys with much of my lectures. That's it, I'm done. Thank you guys for listening patiently. அதுதான் நம்ம அப்படி வச்சிருக்கிறது ரிஸ்க் இருக்கு.
Thank you, Imman. I'm not sure if anyone here is an entrepreneur, but I think things that you shared are very much valued points and very valid points, which I think if anyone moves on towards that line, will find it really useful. One thing you told about everyone is an entrepreneur, you're just not there, right? It's an encouragement for many who want to pursue it.